I want you to think about your life right now. I was reflecting on when I decided to become a professional speaker. I looked at my life and I just said, you know what? I want to do more. I want more. I want more for myself, my family, my mother, and I want to be in charge of my own destiny. And what I was doing at that time was not providing that. And it got to a point, I don't know whether or not you've ever been there, that just doing something 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, just to pay the bills, to keep a roof over my head, and for transportation and food on the table, it just didn't get it. I mean, if you can understand how I felt, it just didn't get it. I didn't find that fulfilling. One, I was doing something that wasn't me. And I was doing something to survive. What it takes to live versus what it takes to survive are two different things. And so here's what I realized, that if you're not willing to take a chance on you, if you're not willing to learn something and reach beyond your comfort zone so that you can explore some other possibilities for yourself, you'll never discover the greatness that you have within yourself to do more, to have more, and to experience more. So I wanted to see what else was out there for me other than what I was doing at the time. I was a salesperson at Sears, and they said, if you're the top salesperson, that you will get a promotion to be the sales manager. Well, I was the top salesperson for 6 months in a row, and they told me they couldn't promote me. I said, no, don't say you couldn't, just say you won't promote me. Well, they said, well, the reason is it will lower morale. Lower morale? Yes. Everybody in that area there would be very upset. I was the only raisin in a glass of milk, if you know what I mean. I said, what? I said, come on, you gotta be kidding me. No. We would love to give you the promotion. I said, excuse me, don't use the word give. I've earned this. 6 months in a row, I've earned this. You said, if you're the top performer, you will be selected for manager. Now you're changing the rules. Now I had a choice. They said I would lower morale. So I took a chance on me. I wonder what happened to the morale when the top performer left. And they had the unmitigated gall to ask me to train the people that they were going to put over me. I said, hello, do I look like Mr. Buckethead? No. Be a team player? No. You know, some people got nerve, you know what I mean? They got nerve up in here, up in here. I said, I got to do something that puts me in charge. If you want to be in charge of life, but I'm working from home now. This is what I do. When I'm not talking to you, you know what I'm doing? I'm speaking to corporations. I'm speaking to organizations. I'm speaking to different groups of people who want to be motivated and inspired, and helping them to create a sense of engagement and unification, even though they're separate geographically. And I'm doing that from the comfort of my home. I teach people how to use this computer to bring their personality through, their passion and their energy through, to create a significant emotional event. See, the reason I have the advantage of doing this than the average person, because I was in radio for many years. I couldn't see the people that I was talking to, and you do it after a certain period of time, you develop some skills intuitively that you know when you're connecting with people. And so that has given me a competitive edge, being in radio for so many years. That's why I'm teaching people now how to do virtual seminars and workshops now, and be successful at it. I'm successful at this, and one of the top impactful speakers doing this because of my background. Do something beyond your comfort zone. Learn something new so you can see what's in you. You got some more stuff back there, but you'll never find out what it is if you don't test yourself. And I was seeing these people speaking everywhere, and I said, I'm gonna put myself to the test. I look at them, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like I do. And so part of the whole process, because I was listening to motivational messages on a regular basis, and I was getting fired up. Now, write this down. The people that are going to make it now, the people that are going to take advantage of this breakthrough. Listen, we work hard for where we are right now. Don't sleep this period now. Good times, they have an expiration date. Bad times, they have an expiration date. We just came through something. With the election of 2 senators, the scale has tilted. The force of evil has been subdued. Listen what I said, not destroyed, but subdued. It will raise its ugly head again. So you want to maximize this time. You want to milk this moment. You want to make your move right now. And one of the things that I do, and I encourage my kids to do, when I make some money, I operate like I don't have a dime. Like I don't have a dime. I start working harder. And this is what you have to do. The people that are going to be successful are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. What is it that most people won't do? Here's what they won't do. Learn something new. They're comfortable with what they're doing now. Well, I've been doing this for a long time. So, learn something new. If you're not willing to learn anything new, no one can help you. But if you're willing to learn something new, like I decided to do this, no one can stop you. I'm my own boss. I call my own shots. And I'm not saying this to you to impress you, but to impress upon you that you got it like that too. And that's why I'll train you how to do that, how to use your voice, how to use your gift of gab, how to use your knowledge and your skills. People with knowledge and skills are working for corporations. You need to learn how to work for yourself from home virtually and control your own destiny. Be your own boss. That's what time it is. Here's something else. I discourage you. Don't do this if you're not hungry. Did you hear what I just said? Now, I just told you you ought to do this, right? And then right after that, come on, Les, what are you saying now? You're telling me don't do it if? Yes. If you're not hungry. If you're going to make it today, you got to be hungry. 47 million people are going to lose their jobs from artificial intelligence. Millions of people have lost their jobs because of coronavirus. You think you're the only one out here? No. It's a different market right now. It's different. There are people that are desperate, going through foreclosures and evictions, lost their jobs, lost their businesses. So the people that are going to come out on top, the people that will snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, they're hungry. When I came out here, I was hungry. I got 5 sons and 5 daughters and a mother that I want to take care of and buy a home for. You got to be hungry. People that are hungry are relentless. You got to get your hustle on. People that are hungry are the first ones there and the last ones to leave. Most people are not hungry. Most people are conditioned to do just enough to keep from getting fired, working in an environment where they've been paid just enough to keep from quitting. It takes some time. to step out of that mental conditioning. People that are hungry, when I worked for WVKO, I was the program director, I was news director, I was manager of station operation, I did commercials, I did editorials, I did a talk show, The Voice of the People, whole lot of stuff that they didn't pay me for. Why, Les? Because I wanted to learn. I wanted to make myself indispensable. That's why I did it. I wanted to make myself more valuable and increase my value for the operation. You have to have that kind of attitude about life. That are you increasing your value every day? If you were on the stock market, would you invest in you? Most people have to say no. Why? They're not reading anything. They're not learning anything new. They're operating within their comfort zone, and they're praying every day that they don't lose a job that they hate. That's what you call mixed emotions. See somebody you hate drive off a cliff in your car. You're glad they're gone, but not in your car. Oh, behave, hello, whatever. No, it's a different place now. You gotta be hungry. You have to get your stuff together. Average is over. The being average, doing just enough to get by, no. And when I talk to people, I can ask a certain question. I can tell the hungry ones and the ones who are slackers. And they're everywhere, the pigeons. See, today, employers are looking for eagles. You go outside right now and see some pigeons, but it's gonna take a minute to see some eagles because they fly high. This is what time it is. And when you look at yourself, look at your goals, look at your dreams, this time demands that you get outside of your comfort zone. This time requires that you invest in you. That's what I was willing to do. The people that will be successful are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People who are not successful have large television screens, and people who are successful have large libraries. Hello? Oh, people who are hungry are willing to discipline themselves. They're willing to dedicate themselves to learn something different. See, anything can be mastered if you're willing to put in the time and put in the effort and focus yourself on learning how to do that to make yourself stand out. In the attention economy, this is the attention economy. You gotta make yourself stand out. Yes, you just can't mosey through this time and think you're gonna get some customers. So you have to think in terms of market takeaway. What value are you bringing that's superior to everybody else? You've got to operate out of the thinking of Henry David Thoreau. Do not go where the path may lead. Go where there's no path and leave a trail. You got to set a new standard.
How does one accelerate learning? And so for years I would share with my service business clients early on, when I went from dead broke carpet cleaner to learning how to make that business work, then taking, wow, I figured out a bunch of things that work, and now how do I share them with other people? And I'm definitely afraid of speaking, so I don't want to go speak, and then I would force myself to be in situations where I had to present, although I was a nervous wreck. And then I started going to Toastmasters, and that was incredibly beneficial. And then it dawned on me wow, I'm learning this stuff so much quicker because I'm now putting myself in a position to have to teach other people. So I would then, later share 3 ways to learn something. You learn through the School of Hard Knocks. You just don't ask for directions. Before GPS, there was that whole stereotype of men never ask for directions sort of thing. You just bumble your way through life. You figure it out. You'll learn stuff, but you're going to fail a lot. It's going to be painful. So that's one way to learn. Second way to learn is you learn through the experiences of other people. You read their books, go to their seminars, buy their courses, learn, get educated. Not education in school, but education out of school, right? The real life education. And that's a more effective way to learn. That's why I read a lot of books. That's why I've gone to a lot of seminars. That's why I've hired a lot of people. So then the third way to learn, which is the most, accelerated, fastest way, is you start teaching other people, because then you have to integrate it at a whole nother level. So
I would challenge that.
well, yeah, I want to hear your perspective on this.
Yeah. When I graduated from high school, I had a friend of mine, Larry Littles. He went to Bethune-Cookman College. We graduated together. They traded him to, he went to San Diego Chargers. He was an offensive guard. He was so ineffective there, they traded him for like $2 or $3.
He
Had a
really
coach,
ineffective.
very ineffective.
Yeah.
But he went to the Miami Dolphins, Don Shula, a coach. Larry became all-star offensive guard 12 years in a row, inducted into the Hall of Fame, Football Hall of Fame. Very seldom that offensive guards are inducted into the Hall of Fame. What was the difference? The coach. Yeah, what the coach was able to find and bring out of him. When I met Mr. Leroy Washington, when I was in his class, when I was put back, when I fell in the 8th grade, and I was looking for a friend, and you know the story, MacArthur Stevens, and Mr. Washington, who's a speech and drama teacher, and I admired his oratorical skills and how he trained students, my classmates. And he said, young man, he was going to do a play called 12 Angry Men. And so he said, I want you to go out up to the front, and I want you to work this problem out for me. We're looking for something. And I said, sir, I can't do that. I'm just here looking for MacArthur Stevens. He said, I want you to do what I ask you to do anyhow. I said, sir, I'm not one of your students. I'm just looking for my friend. And the other students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's smart. He's DT. And they started laughing. And he asked, what's DT? And they said, he's educable mentally retarded. He's in special education. And he looked at me, and I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk. He looked at me. He said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Do you hear me? And I said, yes, sir. He disrupted the story that I believed about myself. And as a result of him, he told me 3 things that served me today that I mentioned earlier. He said, you want to make it in life, don't you? I said, yes, sir. He said, number 1, develop your mind. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. He said, I want you to listen to this. He gave me Earl Nightingale, the strangest secret in the world.
Wow.
He says, number 2, practice the principle of OQP, only quality people. The award-winning, Academy Award winner, Sidney Poitier, he wrote a book called The Measure of a Man. He said, when you go for a walk with someone, something happens without being spoken. Either you adjust to their pace or they adjust to your pace. Whose pace have you adjusted to? We're earned within $2,000 to $3,000 of our closest friends. When I found that out, I got all my broke friends out of my life. I said, y'all gotta go. Don't go away mad, but y'all gotta go. And the other thing he said, Mr. Brown, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are.
Yeah.
And where's James? James, yeah. Questions of what he said is very important. I did a presentation for a major pharmaceutical company, and when I was getting ready to leave, I saw a sign that said danger zone, and all of these people lined up to go into this room, do a presentation. And I came in and I was curious to find out what was going on. And so there were doctors in the room. I was the only one that was not a doctor except people in the hotel. And so, and this conference was teaching doctors how to communicate with their patients to encourage them to take their hypertension medication. And if they don't, they will have a stroke or they can suffer an aneurysm. heart disease. And so I was seated next to the CEO. And he came in late. I said, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "You're the CEO?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Do you have hypertension?" He said, "Yes." And I touched him slightly on his leg. Doctors who touch their patients reduce their chances of having a malpractice suit filed against them by 37%. I said, "You have hypertension?" He said, "Yes." I asked him, "Why do you take your medication?" He said, "I want to live." Then why do you have a fear-based campaign? Why not have it the success zone, appeal to people's desire to want to live? He said, "You got a point." He said, "Can you train doctors?" I said, "Yes." They had all these doctors there. I'm the only one not a doctor, right? The only raisin in a glass of buttermilk. I'm turning red, but y'all can't see it anyhow. He said, "You got a contract. You'll never believe what that contract was for. Training 3,500 doctors, you'll never guess. Anybody? Wild guess. 1 month. How much money I got paid? No, it was small. I just trained them, went to different cities and trained them. But that's good. I like it. James, you are a prophet. All right, thank you, though. $640,000. A lot. Because I asked the right question. I didn't try and sell myself on it. Everybody, you've heard the expression, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink, right? What we do as coaches and as speakers, we create the want. If you know how to effectively communicate and ask the right questions, then they will want to do business with you. Because our goal and objective, when you look at Joe Polish and his whole staff, they're not here to sell you, they're here to serve you. And that's why you show up. The greatest among you will be your servant. So when you ask the right questions, something Zig Ziglar talked about, and you in your book addresses this. He said, if you give enough people what they want, they'll give you what you want. Maya Angelou said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so when you care enough to ask people questions, so as I train speakers, I said, never let what you want to say get in the way of what your customer wants to hear. And all that get understanding, find out who are they? What's going on with them? What challenges are they facing? What's keeping them up at night? What have they done before that did not work, as you talked in those strategic questions? And so I sent out a needs assessment. And when I spoke for Merrill Lynch and talked about these two guys who got together in 1905, one was a businessman, the other one was a visionary. As a result of my doing research, people seated in the audience thought that was just one name. Mm-hmm. And I got another 22 engagements out of that. And so you're asking key questions, but becoming knowledgeable and finding out things about your client and incorporating those things in your presentation. I spoke for a guy named Brian Buffini. Anybody ever heard of him? He sells real estate. So when I go in to speak, I sent a needs assessment Brian filled out. So I wanted to find out where he was and what he wanted, because he's a man that signs the check, okay? Then I talked to his top performers and I extracted stories out of them. And so when I got up and was giving my speech, every point that I was going to make in my speech, I've created a framework how to train people do this. I would use their story as an example. So I said, I was talking to James, and he's been with the company for years, and he said that this place he loves because it helps him to begin to learn more about the customers, that life is a question and how we live our lives is the answer. And so James said he loves being here because it's a family consciousness. And when I talked to Veronica talked about the day that she was thinking about how she was going through a tough time when a family member died, but everybody got together and it gave her the strength to weather that Red Sea, to weather that storm. And when I got to the end of my speech, when I was getting a standing ovation. I said, I'm so glad to be able to see you. And I started walking off, and I said, oh, by the way, I'm not too busy for referrals. That's his theme. We're never too busy for referrals. I got 56 speaking engagements.
Wow. Wow.
And,
10-minute talk.
yeah. But that's not, guess what, James? He said, wait a minute, Mr. Brown. He said, this is November. He said, whatever number of engagements that you have for the rest of the year, I want them. I'll write the check for them. And at that time, I was charging $35,000 an hour. But he paid for every speaking engagement for the rest of the year because I did research on him. I interviewed the top performers. What is it about you that's different than the rest of the people here? I found out his mission statement. I found out how he met his wife. I said, you know, Brian, one of the things I know about you, when you met your wife, Martha, you became very spiritual and said, the Lord is my shepherd. I see what I want. So complimenting his wife. I did research on him and his people, and the people that came in the room that I interviewed them individually and used their story, they're saying, oh my God, when I would use that story, they start hunching, he's talking about me, you know. And all of those things, you put those elements in, it's different than just going out doing an information dump. If information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. They can Google information. They bring us in, you ask the right questions, you can create an experience. Oliver Wendell Holmes said that once a man or woman's mind has been expanded with an idea, concept, or experience, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. And when we look at what this experience that we're going through right now, it's giving us a larger vision of ourselves and allowing us to navigate all the things that we're facing right now.
And so I want you to share about the things that you are going to be teaching people, things that they can learn, and various businesses that they can go into and have the kind of coaching they need that will ensure the possibility of them succeeding. But I like something you said, and I have never seen before in my 77 years on the planet, that the average person, even in coming and becoming a part of the business, you don't succeed, you will still win. Explain that.
All right. Well, in the digital learning platform, Mr. Brown, what we wanted to do was be able to touch where the world is going, but also give people an opportunity to win where the world is right now. So with the metaverse, a lot of people are still not knowledgeable about.
I want you to explain the metaverse, please.
Yes.
Talk about
All right.
it.
So the best.
I don't know. I hear about it, but I don't know what the metaverse is.
This is the best explanation I can give you for the metaverse. Remember when the internet first came out, where people were kind of skeptical about it? Well, what was the internet? The internet was another world where we could communicate and where people could buy different goods and services. They could sell different goods and services. It was a whole new world. Before, if you were going to sell something, you had to be in person, right? You couldn't sell it on the internet. Well, the metaverse, it's a whole new world where communication will take place. And also, goods and services will be sold and bought in the metaverse as well.
You say information can take place. How can you sell in this new platform, this new expanded vision of using technology? How is it different from than traditional internet communication?
You know how like you built an arena, a physical arena that people came to?
Yes.
Well, in the metaverse, you can actually build an arena where people can come and see a Les Brown do an actual speech, but they're at home, right? And they can actually pay to get into that actual event in the metaverse.
And I'm at home and they're at home.
Exactly. But they have the live experience as if they were in an arena.
Wow. What you talk about, Willis?
So one of the things that we're doing, we'll host events in the metaverse And people that are part of our network, they can sell tickets to other individuals that want to participate, and they'll keep 50% of the proceeds. And this is where cryptocurrency comes into play, because crypto, because it's digital, that will be the main currency that's actually used in the metaverse.
This is really advanced. And then there are other opportunities, things that you're teaching people, other businesses that they can dwell into and learn about.
Yeah, real estate, Airbnb. How do I capitalize on the real estate market without actually owning any real estate? You can do that through Airbnb. And then you couple that with a Turo business, which is a transportation business, where I can have an Airbnb listing, but I can have my car in addition to that listing. So now you have a car that you can rent directly from me. So it gives me multiple streams of income with a real estate business and also a transportation business. And then financial literacy, attraction marketing. These are all things that people need, not just to be able to make money, but also to understand how to multiply it, how to grow it, how to preserve it, how to pass it on to other, to other generations. It says a good man leaves an inheritance for their kids. And one of the most powerful ways to actually leave wealth is through insurance. But a lot of people still don't have life insurance today. They're not knowledgeable on how they can get their hands on these products that they can use while they're alive to actually create financial freedom for themselves.
Mr. Imo Nitie, this sounds exciting and thrilling. And they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, I'm not a dog, but I can bark. Roof, roof. And this is a good thing. Stevie Wonder can see how exciting this is and what the possibilities are. And we want to help you take this to the masses, because your goal and vision is to empower and to create millions of millionaires and to impact 1 billion families. That's exciting. That's audacious. And if anybody on the planet can do it, I know that you can do this. I want, ladies and gentlemen, this class, this young man, he's a great instructor, a great teacher. And I'm betting on him. I'll put my name and reputation on him. I want you to go to thebillionvision.com. It's limited access, thebillionvision.com. You have to take advantage of the opportunity and the lifetime of the opportunity. So I want you to go there right now, and you're going to receive information. David is going to do this special class and go in depth on how you can participate. Once again, that's thebillionvision.com. It's a special Zoom that David T. Imo Tia. Yes. What you want me to say? Okay, very good. Now, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Well, I would like to say thank you for doing this. Obviously, you don't have to do it, but you saw something and felt something that caused you to say, yeah, this is something I want to share with the people that know and love you and trust you. You've been a national, international treasure, a world treasure to all of us. Your voice was the voice that kept people going, kept them believing in themselves. So I definitely want to say thank you and congratulations on everything you've accomplished and going to continue to accomplish as well.
Thank you so much. Imo Nitie, I want you to know you're a bad brother up in here. And I'm going to be in the class myself. I want to let everybody know I'm not in the business. I get no benefit from this, but I just felt in my heart, and I believe follow your heart, for your heart is where your treasures also. I just felt a connection with you, and I share the vision. I saw the excitement that Sandra Grace shared when she talked to me about it, and she just gave me a glimpse of what you're doing, the kind of work that you're doing, and the ambitious goal of impacting 1 billion families. I said, that's what I'm talking about. Your goal is to impact the world. And so I'm excited about helping you. You are my future. You have a longer shelf life than I do. And so I believe what Jake said, there's no success without successors. I'm going to do everything that I possibly can with the time that I have left on the planet to help you to achieve your goal of impacting 1 billion families. God bless the day you were born. You have something special, David. You have greatness in you. That's my story. Now I'm sticking to it.
Thank
Bye
you, sir.
for now. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, I've had a lot of guests and various people that I've had the opportunity to speak with. He's different. He's what Henry David Thoreau said, do not go where the path may lead, go where there's no path and leave a trail. This young man, he's the real deal. Do you feel what I feel when you hear him speak? And as he shared that vision, put some fire in the comment section. Let me see if you feel what I feel and you hear what I hear and saw what I saw. I think he's the real deal. Yes, indeed, he's the real deal. That's my story. But I want to see if you can feel. Energy to me is very important. Very important. And there's an authenticity, there's a genuineness, there's a realness about him. And I think this is a great opportunity, an opportunity that you have to take advantage of it in the lifetime of the opportunity. But most importantly, opportunities are not as important as who's behind it, who's doing this. Because whenever someone is talking about a business opportunity in this day and age where we have leaders just lying out of the side of their neck, leaders are saying, don't believe your lying eyes, that they have no relationship with the truth. And so we question everything. We don't know, for the most part, what's real. But when you listen to your heart, come on, somebody, well, you know, when you see the real deal, there's something about it. There's something that you feel that you say, this is it. This is it. And so when I talked to Sandra and I said, introduce me to this young man. I've been around the block. This ain't my first rodeo. I've seen a thing or two. And I tell you, trust me on this. Allow me to share this with you. Be a part of this special class. I'm going to be first with learning everything that I possibly can and have my children and my grandchildren there learning and people who share my vision of what's possible today. Let's not just focus on the problems. Let's focus on some solutions, what we can do now in this space where we are right now. Go to thebillionvision.com and sign up for this Zoom. It's going to be packed, and you want to take advantage of the opportunity in the lifetime of the opportunity. Go there now. Become a part of it. Thebillionvision.com. When will it be, Les? When you sign up, you're going to get the information. Just leave your email information. There will be a communication with you so that you can take advantage of it. All right? So thank you very much. I really enjoyed talking to David Imonitie.
My last question is, throughout this process, throughout this journey, and breaking the patterns, as I'm hearing that repeat some form or fashion throughout this conversation, somebody's basically got to change. Somebody has to evolve. Somebody has to grow. And sometimes people have been thinking that they are who they thought they were until somebody from the outside says, no, you're not. And that, for a lot of people, they're disrupted by it, because whether the ego gets hit or their pride gets hit, or they were this person in corporate America for a minute and they get let go, they get resized, reshuffled, and they're not who they thought they were. And now what we're discovering coming into this era, that we're running into a lot of people that would never have considered entrepreneurship, that would never consider getting involved in the financial services industry. Can you speak to somebody in that transition and move to doing something that they've never thought before? Because 90% of the people that we're getting licensed have zero financial service experience in the past, which is a very healthy thing for our industry.
Remember what I said, in order to make it, mental resolve, a thirst and a willingness to learn, and collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. If you're willing to learn, no one can stop you. If you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. People who are not willing to learn how to earn money in this space don't get good sleep at night. and they have skinny children. And on Monday morning, they're afraid to go to the toilet because Monday morning, the heart attack rate increases by 35%. People getting ready to go to jobs that's not them. And the majority of them die on the toilet.
Wow.
Wow is right.
It's just something else.
Yeah.
You found in the toilet, just done,
Yes,
checked out.
absolutely. Going to do something that's not you. Yes. So this space where we are, this is the only game in town. And computers are not going anywhere. And what computers can do, and we have them in our business, that once we get them in the funnel, and many times we don't have to have human participation. The computer does the rest. All right? But when you have something that you have to establish confidence and trust and leadership, people are addicted to listening to personalities and responding to people who can speak to where they are, who've gone through what they have gone through. Your experience as a Marine, well, one instantly talk about and think about toughness and discipline and loyalty. And so that level of patriotism, that willingness to serve the country, to make the world a better place so we can get a good night's sleep, so that we don't go to sleep hearing bombs and worrying about ISIS. That kind of leadership, you just automatically, you have a sense of, can I feel safe with him? That I feel safe with you. And you're going to attract people like you. Birds of a feather flock together. That's real. In a positive sense and a negative sense. So you are it. And when I think about Dexter, as I look at you, Dexter had organizations in 26 different countries. He made $1 million every 17 hours. He used to drive 200 and 300 miles to do a one-on-one close with someone, with his wife, to talk to another couple. If you're going to be in his organization, you should know the color of the rug in the living room of the person that you have recruited, because you've been there and done presentations. You should know their anniversaries, because you're building a long-term relationship. Relationship is the true capital. Things are going to happen in the systems. It's a part of it. But as long as you are the constant, they'll stay with you. They'll trust the person that moved them to a place within themselves where they could not go by themselves, and say, I can do this. I feel safe. And I'm going to stay the course.
And now let's go to the next level. Not only is it possible that you can live your dream, is it necessary that you call forth your team and surround yourself with people that you can learn from and grow from, that you must work on yourself and monitor yourself and train yourself, that you've got to begin to take total responsibility for the outcomes that you want to produce in your life. But let us say together with power and conviction, it's hard. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, living a dream, changing your life, is hard. It's hard when you lose all your money, when you've given it the best that you have, when you have some major setback. It's hard. When a doctor looked at me and said the 3 horrible words no one wants to hear, you have cancer. It was hard to mobilize my mind and spirit to listen to tapes and music and read scripture and be around other people and seeking out other prostate cancer conquerors to believe that I could do this. It was hard. Never forget, my son said, "Daddy, are you going to die?" "Why are you asking me that?" "You're not going out much. You're not the bubbly personality that I know you to be. You're not talking much. You're spending a lot of time in the room by yourself, Dad. Are you going to surrender? Are you giving up? Are you going to let that doctor's opinion become your reality? Will my daddy see me graduate?" "Yes, yes, son, yes, yes. I'm going to fight. No, I don't think it's my time yet. I'm going to see you graduate, but more than that, I've got some other things that I'm going to do with my life. And I thank you for asking me that. But I must tell you that I'm scared. I'm scared. And I've never been in this situation before. It's been easy for me to talk to people and encourage people when they've had challenges in their lives. But it's me. And I don't feel less than a man in admitting this to you. Yes, I'm scared. And I need some help. Repeat after me, please. Ask for help. Not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And ask for help. And don't stop until you get it. Yes, see, life is hard. And there are some moments in life when you're going to need some help. You're going to need somebody to speak to you. You're going to need somebody to say something to you. I have a friend of mine, Willie Jolly, who's a motivational speaker. He said, "A setback is a setup for a comeback." I had to listen to Willie's tapes. I have another friend, Kevin Brace, who's a speaker. He said, "Les, come on, man, you can do this. You can make this happen. You can hit a home run. It's a done deal. You are Les Brown. That cancer's got to get out of your body." I said, "Talk to me, Kevin. Talk to me." That's what I need to hear. I needed to hear those words. I don't care who you are. Many people won't allow themselves to ask for help because of pride. Pride cometh before a fall. Because of ego. Ego means edging God out. No, ask for help. Not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And ask for help and don't stop until you get it. I'm here because a lot of people helped me. I'm here because a lot of people believed in me at a time when I was struggling to believe in myself. The other thing is, let us say together, it's worth it. Yeah, see, I think, and write this down, you got to find 5 reasons that will make it worth it for you. 5 reasons. What will make it worth it for you? Mine was, I want to take care of my mother. Mine was, I want to do something with my life. What will make it worth it for you? Mine is, I want to leave a legacy. Mine is, I refuse to die an unlived life. What will make it worth it for you? Repeat after me, please. You got to be hungry. Mr. Washington said, "Mr. Brown, what do you want to do with your life?" I said, "Sir, I want to become a disc jockey." "Is that right?" "Yes, sir." "Good." "Mr. Brown, you got to be hungry." He said, "I want you to listen to Paul Harvey. He's the world's greatest communicator. Always find a coach or mentor, someone that's doing what it is you want to do. Watch them. Listen to how he does the rest of the story. Listen to his voice, Mr. Brown. Develop your mind and develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, young man, you tell the world who you are. And don't forget, Mr. Brown, you got to be hungry. Take the time to develop yourself." So I started training and working on myself. And then pretty soon I came to him. I said, "Sir, I've been working on myself. I've done the things that you told me to do. I listen to Earl Nightingale all the time and Zig, and I've been reading Dr. Norman Vincent Peale's book, and I'm ready. I practice every day 2 and 3 hours, sir. Is that right?" "Yes, sir." "Very good, Mr. Brown. You got to be hungry." I said, "Why do you continue to say that?" "Sir, people that are hungry are unstoppable, Mr. Brown. People that are hungry, no excuse is acceptable. Go out and face the music, young man. And don't forget, stay hungry and make know your vitamin." I went to apply for a job on Miami Beach. Milton Butterball Smith was the program director. "Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir?" "My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey." He said, "Young man, you have any journalism in your background?" "No, sir, I don't." "You have any experience in broadcasting?" "No, sir, I don't." He said, "I'm sorry, we don't have any job for you." I went back and I told Mr. Washington. I was devastated. I said, "Mr. Washington." They said, "No, they wouldn't even allow me to audition for them, sir." "Mr. Brown, don't take it personally. I told you, make know your vitamin." Most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes. Be unstoppable, Mr. Brown. You got to be hungry. Go back again. "Yes, sir." Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. Young man, weren't you here yesterday? Yes, sir, I was. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? Yes, sir, you did. Then why are you back today? Well, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir. Nobody was laid off or fired. Now get on out of here. I came back the next day. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 2 days? Yes, sir, I was. Didn't I tell you no the last 2 days? Yes, sir, you did. Then why are you back today? Well, sir, I didn't know whether or not someone got sick because someone died, sir. No one got sick or died. No one was laid off or fired. Now, don't you come back here again. I came back the next day talking loud, looking happy like I see you for the first time. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you? He looked at me with rage. He said, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. So I became the errand boy for the disc jockeys. I'd go get their lunch and their dinner, and I'd stand in the control room, memorizing their hand movements on the control board and all the instruments, learning everything that I could because I expected to be behind that microphone. Then one day, it was a Saturday afternoon, and a disc jockey by the name of Rockin' Roger was drinking while he was on the air. Rockin' Roger got so drunk, he started slurring his words. He was about to fall off the chair. He obviously could not complete his program. And there I was, looking at him through the control room window. A Saturday afternoon, I was the only one there, young, ready, and hungry, walking back and forth saying, drink, rock, drink. Drink, rock. I'd have gone and get him some more if he'd asked me to. Then pretty soon the phone rang. It was the general manager, and I answered the phone. I said, hello? He said, young boy, this is Mr. Klein. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish his program. I said, I know. He said, would you call one of the other DJs in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up. I said, you must think I'm crazy. I called my mom and my girlfriend, Cassandra, and said, y'all come out on the front porch and turn up the radio. I'm about to come on air. I waited for about 20 minutes, and I called him back. I said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody. He said, young boy, you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and segue the records, but don't say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get old Rock out of the way. I put on a fast record. I said, look out, this is me, LB, Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, doubly qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry.